Hey there, guys. I totally forgot to record this for you, so I wanted to do it really quick since I was going to be doing another puppy. But basically, if you're not on um, iOS 16 for Apple and you need to remove a background, I just want to show you what I did really quick, and then I'll show you in Silhouette how I changed the design a little bit. So we are going to be putting my friend's dog in her picture. So the first thing we want to do is find our quick selection tool. And all you're going to do with this, if you're in Photoshop, is go around. I like to go pretty slow, and I will tell you it's not going to get it perfect the first time. And I don't actually need the bottom of this dog because it sits behind the pumpkin. I just get obsessive with things. But what a lot of people don't know is you can go up to these, and this is gonna add or subtract. So you have to get the add one is gonna add things to your design. The subtract, you're gonna subtract things. So I just zoom in, and I just use like Control plus plus to zoom in. And then we need to add at the side of Bit's little face here. And we can't forget Bit's ear. And you can also have it like be more sensitive, less sensitive, but this is not a full Photoshop tutorial, so we are not getting into that. And then, I mean, you can clean up little lines, but honestly, like I find, especially with the dogs at least, you really don't need to be like pixel by pixel perfect here. You just need to get the majority of the dog. Then you're going to go Control Copy or Command Control C for copy, and then you're just going to go File New. You're going to do Clipboard, hit OK, and then we're going to paste. And I just do that. You can also do it by layers. I'm just trying to show you the easiest way to possibly do it. Then we're going to go Save As. We'll do Bit Photo 1 because I don't know if this one will work in the design. And then you want to do largest file size so we don't lose any of that. Then we need to go into... Now, you can 100% do all of this in Photoshop, but I know the vast majority of you use Silhouette or something very, very similar to Silhouette. So the way this design comes, let me see if I can find the original design here really quick. So this is the way this design is actually made. Okay, a little bit different than mine. What I wanted to do is I needed to move a leaf out of the way, these leaves out of the way to be able to put the dog in. But I also had just a much bigger space on my shirt, so I wanted more leaves. So all you want to do with that is go to your shape selection. You can do whatever shape you want. It really doesn't matter. That's not the point. And then you're just going to encircle or square, whatever you want to do, the different leaves you want to, that you want to remove, not remove from your design, but detach from your design, because this is a PNG. And so it's not an SVG where I can just ungroup things, right? Because the design is the whole thing together. And so I'm just taking these circles and putting them around the different leaves. Okay. You might have to make it a little bit bigger for the bigger leaves or whatever your design is. Now, I'm going to select all. I'm going to come over here and open my modify panel. Okay. And then I'm going to do crop. I lied. I'm not going to do crop. Well, you can do that. And that is actually the way I do it. There's just an easier way with divide. And that'll make these elements their own. Ooh, never had that happen before. Okay, so this is a good lesson. Sometimes programs go wonky. So if you want to do the crop, just copy your whole design and paste it. Put it off to the side. Okay, and then you can do subtract to get the base design, and you can do crop to get the leaves. And if you do intersect, it deletes the whole thing. I just wanted to show you that. But so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and do the crop because we want the leaves. Then we're going to move them off to the side. We're going to make a second option here of this. You would just encircle the leaves again. Or you can take the cheater's way out and just delete the leaves you don't want. So I always tend to keep a copy of what I'm working on off to the side anyway. So I deleted the 2 leaves that I no longer wanted because that is potentially where the dog would go. And then all I did was move these leaves around to make the design a little more robust and, you know, fill up the whole space that was on my shirt. And I then flipped it horizontally or flipped it vertically so they look a little different. These are pretty great leaves in terms of color fill and stuff like that you can make them look a little bit different. So it doesn't look like you have all the same leaves. Change their size and shape, all of that. So for instance, you can take, if it would stop opening my point editing, you can take this leaf and you could make it a little bit thinner, or a little bit thicker, bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do just to fill up the space. But just move them around so that they are just a little bit more dynamic, and then you won't necessarily feel like you just have the same 5 leaves. Because these are all the same 5 leaves. Okay, so then we want to insert the dog. Okay? So we need to go where we saved the puppy. And I did try a different one earlier and it just didn't quite work. And it may take you a minute. So all I did was copy and paste the dog over here. Then I need to send it to the back. Obviously, we're going to need to resize. I just don't quite know what size to make it until I get there. So the 2, in this particular design, in order to keep it balanced, the 2 places to put the dog are essentially right here and right here. I did try putting it right here. One, I have to modify the design again. And I do think that maybe is super cute for this one. We're going to try that really quick. Since I have the design sitting over on the other one. Actually, I'm just going to erase. But as you can see, guys, for designing all of these, this is just a trial and error process. For designing any of it, it's a trial and error process. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. When I sit down to design, I do have an idea in my head of what that might look like, but it changes and modifies as I go. So I just select it all since the design the design broke up a little bit when I did my editing there. Okay, so we could put bit there. We could put, and then we'd want to modify where our leaves are, right? So the other option is over here, and you just modify where your leaves are going based on where you put the dog or person or whatever. And then if you notice, I flipped this a couple of times. So if I'm putting it over here, I'm going to flip it this way. But photos can be flipped, right? So if I'm going to put it over here, I would need bit to be leaned this way. And I might, bit's pretty small, so I may not want to make it as big as the, she's probably similar size to a football. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to send this one over because it kind of looks like Bit's drinking the coffee. Obviously, my friend will have to approve this. It's Mary from Miss Mary's Embroidery. She's amazing. Go check out her page if you haven't. She saw mine. She was like, oh my God, I love it. And I was like, I will make you one. Anyways, that is what I am thinking for that design. But that's also just how you're able to modify these designs to make them your own so they don't look like everybody else's. And they, you know, you can make it your own thing. It doesn't have to be exactly what the designer had in mind. Now, some designers do have rules that you are not supposed to modify their designs at all. Um, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, that's their rules, so you should abide by them when you buy them. But most designers have no problem with this kind of variation, as I have not nominally changed their design. I'm not claiming it as my own, any of that. And then I would go to print. What I would do personally is I would select all, so you can either just drag your cursor across or, you know, Control A. And then I would group everything. Because now you can size it to your perfect size. So, for instance, I need this to fit in about a 13-inch area, and I can print in a 13-inch area. I do get this question a lot, so I'm just going to throw it on here at the end. If you're printing from Silhouette Studio onto bigger pages than 12 by 12, you need to turn your machine off, your cutting mat off, and then you can go in here and put whatever page size you want. So I personally need a 13 by 19 page size here, if I can get this to agree with me. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I need my design. I always go into the transform panel to do this. Make sure this is locked. Okay, I want my design to be 13, my num lock is not on. I need this to be 13 inches wide. And then I am actually going to turn it sideways because my design, I don't want it to be perfect on my page. I have 13 by 19 page. And I'm going to center it. And this is going to allow me to tear some edges to those pages without a lot of issue for deckling our edge. All right, well, I am ready to print, but that is how you modify these designs. I apologize for it taking extra time. I literally just totally forgot, but I hope that helps. I hope you enjoy this. You can totally do what I did in Photoshop and many other programs. There's plenty of apps out there. Just also a reminder, if someone is giving you a photo, they need to email it to you because your text messaging, all of that decreases compression in your, increases compression in your photos and it'll pixelate them. So you need to do this on your, ideally on your computer, but you need to do it through email and make sure that your phone is saving the high resolution. The app is saving the high resolution if you're going to take the backgrounds out doing it that way. Of course, you can do this the super hard way and use the erase tool. But I would recommend just finding a low cost or even cheap trial if you need to do this once in a blue moon, or program online to take out that background. All right, have a great and crafty day.